Hello, I'm Jason Geigerman, director of Campus Heroes.
And I'm Adam Scher, editor of Campus Heroes, and I appear in all my nude glory as the Flash. Oh, that was a good intro.
Well, this is the opening sequence of the film here. Right here, we're out on the front lawn of Valdosta State University, and there goes Clint Baker playing Wild Child and running away from our hero, Chris King, who plays King in the movie.
I don't think we ever covered this, but King's power is that he's the strongest man in the world.
Well,
Even though he never actually says that. He says he's the strongest man alive when he later on he meets Sketchman.
Well, he says that, but really, it's more. I told him that his characterization was that in high school he was this big time athlete that was the best at his school, and then he came to college and realized that he came from this podunk high school that was in the middle of nowhere and had no good athletes, and he was the best of the worst, basically. So here we meet Matt Toller, who plays Reflex in the movie. I don't think we ever say his real name in the movie, but anyway,
he says it. He says his name is Matt when he meets.
Okay, that's right.
Later on in the film.
Well, that paper that he's holding, actually, he forgot to bring any papers or anything, so he had stuffed his book bag with a jacket, and he took a poster off the wall to be the paper that he failed. There's Chris King. He's running off.
Now we should explain that he's chasing after Wild Child still, because I cut this to be out of order a little bit.
Yeah.
In terms of what was originally planned.
Yeah, originally the whole chase with Wild Child, all of it came later in the film. You'll see that, But
here we introduced Chris,
Matt's
love interest.
This sequence we had to film so many times because he kept on not being able to hit the pole. And missing the pole or looking at the pole right before
or looking like he knows he's gonna hit the pole. And
yeah, so it was tough. But you edited this in this scene.
This was a last minute addition because that you requested that he be we see him walking into the Patterson.
Oh yeah. And then Ivory standing up on the desk. I told him to just do something that he thought seemed really bizarre while reading, and so he did that, and then. Eventually, he stands on his head while reading and stuff.
This was a hard scene to cut just because they never did the same thing twice.
Yeah. Well, with Ivory, with the way he talks and everything.
Yeah.
Ivory
never has a complete sentence, I think, in this entire film.
Look at him right there.
What about Batman and Robin, man? Come on. Every sentence begins and ends with "come on" with Ivory.
Come on, man.
Come on.
And then Toller just struggling to keep up with Ivory, just not really making a whole lot of sense with what he's saying, which is great because it definitely brings a lot of great comedic element.
Yeah.
And Ivory moving around, that's basically the way he talks to everybody, so just always moving around, looking uneasy about the conversation sometimes. But yeah, that was actually my dorm room.
That's right.
It was being filmed in.
All the X2 Hulk posters and then the Passion, which is in the top of the corner there.
And here we meet Andy Wood. He's playing some sort of, I guess he's like a commissioner character. That's the way we originally wrote it, And he's Chris King is trying to make sure that he gets his publicity without really asking to get publicity for catching Wild Child. And, Andy was great in this. He definitely fits this commissioner part really well.
Yeah, this was originally I was supposed to play the part.
Yeah.
And then I requested to play the Flash instead.
Yeah, and it was good because I was looking for a part for him.
But yeah, Andy really looks the part of
he
of the Commissioner
well.
Gordon.
But apparently he's just some sort of intern is what he eventually became of the police department on campus or something like that. And then he just gives a fine and sends Wild Child off on his way because of his medicine. So I don't know. I like the way that he's much more down to earth than any of the superhero characters or anything. I mean, Toller's the closest, but Andy I think is the closest to being
completely normal.
Yeah.
Here's Clint's magnificent portrayal of Wildchild with the swinging arms to signify just how mad he is. And it's like he's a supervillain, but he's the most non-threatening. He really doesn't ever do anything besides throw cones at people and kick this sign right here he's about to do.
Well, when we filmed this, these girls that were just in the background were going crazy and like yelling at him and screaming and asking him why he was crazy. And I love this part. This is probably my favorite thing in the movie. Such a bad day.
Oh man!
Enter Cody.
Enter Cody with the little jacket he didn't want to wear, but he had to give up his long one.
Yeah, we had to give you the long one.
You see that? He does like the little.
He calls it his meek handshake, his very effeminate handshake. But he didn't want to wear that shorter jacket, but we needed you to wear the longer jacket so that we could cover you up, so you could be the Flash and not wear anything under it. And he was kind of upset about that, but.
It's so much funnier that he wears a little jacket with his his random cane, his scepter. It's not a cane, but it's not a scepter either. It's like it's a completely useless little thing he carries around.
Oh well. He actually, I think that was part of a broken curtain holder from his girlfriend's apartment or her house. From her house, yeah. As you saw right there where Ivory walked in, and there was me and the assistant director, Fia, standing in the background. You'll see this in just a second again, but it's just us with our book bags standing there looking in a different direction than everything is being filmed here. But, I remember that they didn't really know how to approach the scene, and we wanted to go inside, but there were a lot of things going on inside, and so we weren't really able to control that area. But there we were, just in the back left corner.
This was the same area we shot Rescuer in for that 1 hour.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot of activity. There's Dickie right there. Oh, I never noticed that before until now. Wow.
There goes Chris to battle, and that was actually him running off. Was actually part of the scene where he goes to fight Clint.
Yeah.
But
that's why he's not wearing his his sweatband in this scene, because he's fighting the giant Brewster's guy. Which is actually a girl, I believe, that she told me.
Actually, that was this is a girl who is doing a fundraiser for her sorority, walking around handing out ice cream coupons, and Chris actually knew her, and so we asked if we could film him fighting her, and she was down with it. So they were fighting there, and and there he is just pinning her, and then he gets kicked in the head. Then
coming back to explain what's wrong with Wildchild and why he needs his medication.
Yeah, which is pretty good. And Andy actually grew that beard because he was in a play of Macbeth. Yeah. And so there goes the two. They just kind of suddenly become superheroes wearing their costumes and stuff. It doesn't really ever explain how they put together their costumes and everything. But
they're pretty much pajamas.
Yeah, they are pretty much. But I love Ivory with his exact plan on how to defeat Wildchild. Now he's gonna run through here and we'll just triple him.
Because he knows I can read his mind. I know he's coming.
So here we go. And this is the same footage from the very beginning of the movie, but we cut it so that it looks
somewhat different.
Yeah, it looks a bit different.
It's called half-assing it.
Yeah, but it turned out really well. I think it was more half-assing the filming, and you did well at putting it together, man.
That was the last minute addition too, because I didn't even notice that. Remember?
Yeah, that's right. Well, we wanted to introduce her a little bit more and have her kind of like there, and have you able to see her. But this was kind of an odd scene because we needed to have them meet and decide to join each other. So Ivory just kind of takes charge and wants to get a part of it, and I told Toller to just be like, he's not even sure he wants a part of any of the superhero stuff. And so in this whole thing, he's just he's feeling himself slip deeper into the superhero thing. And then Ivory's just all about it, and he appeals to
Ivory's
Chris.
logic is amazing because it makes no sense to you. Everybody is like, that makes total sense.
Everybody just believes him. With Clint, he's hovering around like he's waiting for a fatality in Mortal Kombat.
He is.
This is where Chris talks about the flagpole scene that we never filmed. He says, "Meet me at the flagpole." As he's walking away, he says, "Let's go meet Papa Geigerman."
Yeah.
Oh, well, there they go walking away.
Oh, this is Bankhead.
That's a friend of mine, Laura Gilreath, and she was nice enough to play one of the girlfriends of Bankhead.
He's the most subtle pimp in the world, and look, she's into it now. She gets really confident. She's like, "Oh, I can't believe he really likes me."
That was great. This is actually in Bankhead's apartment.
Yeah.
And
one of the 8 David Spade movies he watches during the course of this movie.
Yeah, he's a David Spade fan. He definitely had those in his apartment, so we just used
I believe
them.
it.
So
the fish tank always kind of blew my mind because the rest of the apartment is so like it's one color except for the fish tank, which is randomly located like right there.
I like the backlit.
The backlit
plants.
It's such a pimp pad. And he's like,
he's definitely like.
And later on, you just find out how much of a pimp he is when he's talking to Toller about you just need to be real and.
He's like, tell the girl whatever she wants.
Just tell her what she wants to hear, and.
But he's so cool and smooth about everything that he doesn't even
Yeah.
get all angry when they just bust in and.
This is about as worked up as he gets in the entire film.
Ivory's about to destroy his toilet back there. But Bankhead's all looking around. Toller, we always had Toller trying to take some of Bankhead's food or drinks or something like that, and just mooching off him. And then we always had Ivory going to the bathroom, using his bathroom and sneaking it up. And we always had Chris always using his mirrors and picking up stuff and playing with it. And so it's kind of like the annoying parts of whenever your friends come to your room or something and start playing with all your stuff or taking stuff, you know, like just I was always picturing the way there are different friends of mine that would always mess with my stuff. So here's Bankhead after we kind of did a jump cut.
Yeah. Most of this is jump cuts. It's all one take.
Yeah, we did a lot of just flowing takes and we were kind of looking for a jump cut.
That's a jump cut right there.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. Then we have Ivory in the bathroom. I think that Robert was just like almost laying down under Ivory filming this right here. And Ivory was just trying to lean back and forth and remember what he was supposed to say. But there's Chris playing with the weights. And then here comes Ivory out of the bathroom to be encouraging to the rest of the team. So this was an odd place to film in because of all the low lighting and stuff, and it created a lot of weird shadows, and that was kind of difficult to deal with. But it was pretty good. How difficult was it to edit all this together,
though? Again, it's just since so much of it was one take, it really didn't. It depended on which scenes were. That was probably an easier scene. This was a hard one because it's shot so dark that it's hard to find ones where there's actually good lighting that you can actually see everything.
Yeah, but you know, I think it worked out pretty well with the. I mean, it's dark and everything, but the way it works out, and it definitely, you know, it's nighttime and it works with him, Dickie there being the peeping Tom.
Yeah.
And Chris King yelling out stuff about his mom and everything. Originally, there was a line in here where Chris tells Dickie that he's going to jail, and Dickie, and he says, "Do you know what jail is?" And Dickie says, "Yeah, it's the place where people like to drop the soap." That was one of the freakiest lines I've ever seen.
That is like the scariest thing ever. And you can see like people watching through the windows, like as they're doing that, and they're like, "Who is this kid?"
I love the Hawaiian shirt and the Mardi Gras beads that he's wearing.
Bankhead chick number 2.
This is another friend of mine, April, and it was just funny. She's not a theater major or anything, but she was nice enough to show up and do this part for us. She did really well. She was really funny in this. And here comes Chris in the room and Ivory and Toller. And they all just go to their separate little things. They always had their set jobs to do. different work they were trying to do when they came in. So then, yeah, there's Toller. He didn't ever take a drink of that.
No.
I wanted him to, but I think he was kind of worried that he was. I think he was feeling sick, like actually sick, and he didn't want to take a drink out of there and then give it back to Bankhead. So here Bankhead goes back in the back to see Ivory. We had a camera guy laying across the countertop where the sink was, like all balled up and leaning over the toilet to film this shot, kind of over Ivory's shoulder. His explanation for the key making.
He has these weird like MacGyver-esque things. Like I took a bar of soap and made a key out of it. I'm like, how did you do that?
And Toller pushes these two a little bit closer together. It's kind of funny. But just here they are, Toller coughing here. That was funny. He kind of added that whole sick thing, I think, like I was saying, because he was really sick. Here comes Bankhead from the back. It's just this dialogue. I love the way they put this together. And then April tries to get out of here. That was kind of a gag with her being stuck between the two guys that are like the big superheroes, and she's a little girl stuck in with them all like crowded in on the couch. The way Bankhead delivered this line so calmly.